Hi everybody, I wanted to just give a little bit more color about the Tomahawk TX and how it works in video format instead of through the Motor Trend article kind of as we're going frame by frame. So here we go. This is our original YouTube video. You can kind of see how it's all laid out. You've got your center rotor, your satellite rotors, you've got your match speed centrifugal superchargers in the center, and that's how they go through. The spinning part at the bottom there, these are your exhaust valves as you see coming around. Right, and then what I want to do is just kind of walk through the cycling. Okay, so as this slows down, okay, actually let me pause, go back one frame, a couple frames. Okay, so our intake is a positional valve, right? As the combustion chamber goes through here, then it's open to the air and to the fuel coming in. So I wanted to highlight that before I started. Just kind of remember where that is. It's near your first injector as it rotates around. Okay. All right. So here's this. Okay. So actually, let me frame forward to maybe like here, more like there. All right. So your air is coming in, and you have your fuel. Your prior exhaust is ending. And as we step through, it's not letting me step at the moment. Okay. There we go. Okay. So you've got your air and fuel coming in. I'm going to follow this chamber as we go through. Obviously, this is triplicated, but I'm just going to follow this chamber for now. Okay. You are. This is closed to your exhaust. You've got your fuel coming in until it ends here. Then you can't put any more fuel in. Your compression is starting. As this goes through, your volume is decreasing until you get to your central rotor spark plugs. You're starting the combustion, okay? And then that forms a triangle here where the majority of the force exerted on this piston, the Tomahawk, is canceled out by the satellite rotor. This is primarily canceled out through the main rotor, and your main force, your net force, ends up being on the outside edge of this, on your main rotor, right? So that's what's causing the engine to spin, is force on that outer rotor, okay? Your combustion continues. At some point this will lift off and your chambers open up. Then what happens is the net force goes away on your main rotor, and then your force ends up switching over to having a net force on the outside of this Tomahawk, which pushes that out. So these are geared together with central gear in the middle of the engine. So any force on the outside satellite rotors does essentially the same thing as any force, net positive force in the correct direction from your main rotors. Okay. So that's where you get your exerting your force from the combustion event. That continues until you open up to the exhaust. This is an exhaust valve for variable exhaust timing, so that inside here you can turn this to affect when this valve opens. Your exhaust then starts flowing out through this channel. The turbine effect that's talked about is as a little bit of it rushes through, grabs onto the hold of this to try and get out here before that closes. Okay, then you've got your intake coming in here. You're starting your next, well, you're not starting the fuel for your next event right away, but you have your intake here, and then you can start your fuel for the next event. This over here is now closed off again. So there are spark plugs on the outside here, and any unburnt fuel from your main event gets put in here with your to be sparked for your cleanup. So we're utilizing this rather than a catalytic converter, although hopefully we won't need to have a catalytic converter. But our idea is to spark twice to make sure that any unburnt fuels are done, and then to try and capture any energy in the unburnt fuel in a secondary cycle. So this, as it rotates through, actually I'll back up. There would otherwise be a little bit of a negative loss, a pumping loss here as this vacuum forms. We don't have it shown here, but we are intending to build a port in through here that will be controlled positional valve to start bringing in fresh air into here as well, for two reasons. One, to assist with the air in the secondary combustion 5th cycle, and also to eliminate that pumping loss. So as that goes through. So that's kind of what I wanted to walk through. I will let you see the rest of the video here to watch as it goes through, but it's all the same cycles. Your cool air coming in, compressing, combustion occurs. You got your secondary cycle starting while your first cycle is restarting.